The shoe in this box is the reason why it's so hard for the average guy to get a pair of sneakers today. And you might be wondering, bro, is this a pair of Oreo 6s? Yes, it's a pair of Oreo 6s that I didn't even know were coming out. We're not doing an unboxing, it's not that type of video. No sir, because I genuinely feel bad for the guy out there just trying to get a pair of J's. So you might be wondering, bro, what does the 6 have to do with any of that? How do you even have it if you didn't even know it was coming out? Well, I had a client that was trying to buy a pair of Olympic 6s for a size 14, and I said, oh yeah, I got you, bro. And so I thought it was gonna be easy cop because I didn't think that these shoes were gonna sell out, and they should have no reason to sell out. So I went on my FLX app, which they have recently implemented a new system, which I'm not a fan of at all. And I'll make a whole separate video for that. So make sure that you're liking and subscribing so you can get that new content. But I put a lot of points into trying getting the Olympic 6 because I knew I just wanted to guarantee it for my client. He's a normal shopper, this and that. And so I put in a lot of points. Even for a regular sneaker, you might not even have, saying this amount of points just to drop on an Olympic 6, right? And the points is how you boost your chances of getting the shoe. And I didn't win, and I was just so surprised. And for context, I put in way less points for the Kobe Olympic Golds, and I won those. So you can see how confusing and frustrating that is. But no worries, there are other avenues to cop the shoes because people just say that it's easy now, they're sitting, this and that. Well, so I went to Finish Line. I knew it was another easy site where I could just get it on the day of. So there was no queue, obviously, because that type of shoe shouldn't sell out. I clicked on it, went to the Olympic 6, I went to brand new releases, Olympic 6s, paid my $216.50, and I got my confirmation email just to see this shoe right here. And I said, oh, no. I know for a fact I didn't even click this shoe because I didn't even know this shoe had came out. So I said, there's no way. So Finish Line, they ended up having to, I bought the wrong shoe, but my money was still paid for. So I said, okay, well, let me run the sneakers. And mind you, if this was any shoe with any type of real desire, it would have been sold out because at this point it's about 9:04-ish, and we all know it only takes less than a minute to have a shoe sell out. So luckily, I was able to go back to sneakers. A size 14 was still available. Had my card on file, paid for it, and then it declined. Because I only put that amount of money on this card so I could buy this shoe. So I had to load up the money and then buy it, and then I was able to get it. Now you can see how this long path of just going through hoops can be very frustrating and annoying for just a regular guy who has to get a pair of shoes. And most people don't have just $400 lying around, and in the instance to have their card decline and then have to rebuy it twice. Some people, they save up their whole check just to buy a shoe, or to they're saving and managing their funds, so in the instance they only have it for that one pair, not for two pairs. And then also with the Foot Locker system, it's so confusing. Nobody knows. And I even recently saw where the new Jordan 4 BX shoes came out, the Nigel Sylvesters, and there was genuinely a different level of points just being allocated. Some people were putting 100 points. Some people were putting 50 points, 20 points, 5 points. All these different levels of points won. So it's like, it doesn't make sense because that's different than how it was before. Because before there was a limit on how many points. It was 6. But before 6 it was 3. But if you didn't have 6 or if you didn't have 3 at those respective times, you weren't getting it whatsoever, unless just nobody put in for that. So a new system is very annoying and frustrating, especially since in order to get these points, you have to buy what's at the store. Well, if you're only trying to get these releases, you don't got any points. So you can see how it's just a frustrating loop of so many things that somebody has to hurdle through for a shoe. And mind you, you can go to this day that I'm recording, which is a week later, you can still go and get this shoe on sale, and you can go get the Olympic 6s. So why did I have to go through all those hoops, those trials and tribulations, just to get a shoe that is literally at my local store? I'm just preparing myself to get it on release day so I have the best chances just in case it sells out the next or following day. You feel me? So you might be thinking like, well, you could have just went to the store the next day. Well, one, it's a size 14. Two, you're not guaranteed to know what's going to sit or what's going to sell out. What you said, this is for the normal guy, not somebody who has experience in the sneaker game. I can tell you how much this mall has in stock, this and that. The average guy doesn't know stock numbers. The average guy isn't plugged in with an employee who can just save their pair. It's free game at that point. And I truly think just from this experience alone, it just put me in a perspective that is just genuinely too hard. Even in a time where it's the most easiest to get shoes, and it's more so of what you have to do to get these shoes. And I feel like that has been one big issue that kind of steered people away from buying shoes in general or even entering the sneaker game. They feel like it's just too hard to get in certain shoes, which I don't respect that opinion, because it's the same thing with anything that has value. It's going to be pretty hard to get a super rare Pokemon card or a basketball card, because the odds are not good. So what do? You have to buy a whole lot of packs. Same thing with shoes. You got to be plugged in. You got to know your resources. You got to get really lucky and hit on sneakers. It's the same thing, but from another world, essentially, right? Because for me, I would probably say this, I understand, but for someone who doesn't see the value in that as much, for example, I wouldn't see as much value as a rare Pokemon card, right? Because that doesn't spark my interest. So in my head, being ignorance is bliss. Yeah, a little slight promo. I know y'all rock with the shirts, but I'm thinking, why would you spend $400 on this many packs to just try and get that card? What does that Charizard do from that Charmander and Charmeleon? What are we talking about, right? I know my Pokemon. I ain't gonna lie. I know my Pokemon, but it's just, it burns the perspective, right? So I understand where it comes from. Well, I don't respect their opinion in the fact of that, right? Because these shoes, for example, Off-White or Travis Scott, right? Those need to be limited. Not everybody should have access to it. Now that they're trying to revert that and have everybody have access to it, you're meaning to tell me that these shoes are now widely available, easy access, and it's still hard for me to get them? I don't want to join your culture. Your culture is annoying. It doesn't make sense. Even at your lowest, you're still not allowing people to get in. And so I think that is a big issue just in general with sneakers. And I'm saying, this is supposed to be the time where everybody can collect the shoes that they want. That was the whole big issue. Oh, I can't get what I want. Well, now here's your chance, but now I feel bad because even though it's still your chance, you still have to go through all of these trials and tribulations just to get a regular shoe. And I just don't like that, man. So you guys can let me know how you feel about, do you guys think that it's hard to get shoes? What do you think it should be like a correct system, right? Or tell me a time where you just had to do too much stuff to try and get a shoe, and then at a certain point you just said, I don't care, this is too much, and I just went away. So let me know those in the comment section below, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. I'm returning these right now.